Viraj Ventures is a multinational conglomerate headquartered in Noida with diversified businesses pan-India and globally. It galvanizes people and opportunities around the interconnectedness of various sectors and a diverse range of industries from IT, enlistment and recruitment, wealth management and BFSI, legal and corporate advisory to real estate and infrastructure technology, manufacturing and structural and civil engineering consulting. By robust diversification across sectors and geographies, Viraj Ventures successfully achieves operational independence in its product and service lines. This allows them to effectively manage fluctuations in various industries or geographical areas, enhancing its competitiveness and success in domestic and global markets. Hello and welcome to NDTV Profit Next Brands presents Brand Vision Symbol of Excellence. Today we have a special guest, a first-generation entrepreneur, someone who has navigated the challenges of building a business from scratch. He's seen growth and used innovation. Let me introduce you. We have with us Mr. Ankit Aditya Pradhan. He's the CMD of Viraj Ventures. Ankit, it's really a pleasure to have you with us today on NDTV Profit. To begin with, if you can just tell us about Viraj Ventures, how did it start, when did it start, and the story behind it.
I think first of all, I would like to thank you for having me at NDTV Profit. It's a pleasure of mine as well. I think I'm an accidental venture capitalist with Viraj Ventures. I started this company in 2019, wherein we were already into real estate industry. We were part of the real estate industry. We were doing advisory. We were doing a lot of businesses. But then, as we moved forward, we saw a lot of potential across all the industries, and we started into technology. We started into digital marketing because they were the byproducts of our real estate advisory businesses.
Sure.
So we immediately started a digital marketing company, and due to the offset of COVID, which is of course unfortunate, but whenever some diversities happen, whenever adversities happen, we get some opportunity out of it.
Yes.
So everybody wanted digital. So then digital marketing company was a DGB network. We explored into that, and because Realty Assistant was doing advisory, but not all the ancillary services, we also ventured into other aspects of real estate. We ventured into real estate development, we ventured into real estate rental services, leasing services, and as well as property management services. And then we thought that, okay, when we are doing all across, we should venture into some tech, because real estate advisory is not, I feel it's not complete without tech. And today, after the onset and offset of COVID, a lot of people wanted to buy properties from their homes, from the comfort of their home. They don't want to move out. So we started our tech company, which is Kiasis, where we were doing IT projects for domestic markets as well as international markets. And moving forward, we ventured into a lot of businesses. We started with mining. That was entirely a different ballgame for us. We entered into public infrastructure. And moving forward, we did a lot of F&B services as well. So I always feel that we were doing good with real estate businesses. We ventured into tech due to our requirements, but then we became a venture capitalist.
So clearly you've done so much in the last 5 years. So inspiration for, a lot of people who are sometimes doubtful that whether they'll be able to do this, taking that step forward. How did you decide to get into business or, actually start something of your own? Also, considering the time you started it, it wasn't easy because COVID came in the middle. What were the challenges you faced?
So I always say that we were an experienced startup. So I have been working since I was aged at age 16.
Wow.
So I come from a family of salaried individuals, all government job. Banker was my father. My uncle and aunts were into government bureaucracy. And I always felt that I need a flamboyant life for me. I want an upscale, high scale life for me. And I always saw that my parents used to say that either be a corrupt person. I said, no, that's not the ballgame for me. I would like to pay all my taxes and enjoy the
morals were in place.
The morals were in place.
Which is the most important.
They said, okay, then move out towards business. And as you say that, how you started, and sometimes people feel that I won't be able to do it. So I believe a lot in the philosophy of Phoenix. To reborn from my own ashes. So I don't think it's a very nice thing to tell, but I flunked twice in my high school. I did my BTech in 7 years, but I created a very good business around me. And today we are targeting a turnover of more than 1,000 CR.
And why the name Viraj? What was the thought behind that?
So basically it converged from Investors Hub to Viraj. So in 2015 I was blessed with a baby boy, Viraj, it's my son. And I always wanted that I should create a brand which is for ages, and I should always be wary that my brand should never have a bad reputation. So I can never give a bad name to Viraj. So that's why Viraj Ventures is the thought. So it always tells me to do everything genuinely and perfectly, so that nobody can defame my son's name.
That's a really wonderful thought, Just moving ahead, of course, business is one thing, doing work is one thing, but getting, you've been awarded with many things. We'll move on further talking about Realty Assistant as well. Recently, you've got the top 50 Fortune best workplaces for millennials. Now, getting that, I think, of course, productivity is one thing, but how do you ensure also getting that, how do you ensure that everything works out well and pans out well? Because that's, I think, an achievement to ensure that the people around you are happy, right?
Yeah. So basically, we all need to understand that we can never work in a professional environment. As Indians, we have high values of family culture, and Vasudev Kutumbakam is something Viraj Venture has in its roots. I feel every employee is my family, and I have to be very comforting to them, then only they'll be comforting to me. So we are not just a client first company or group, we're also an employee first company. Because if my employees are not happy, then I won't be able to make it big. And that's why we've been awarded multiple times for our employee first policies. And we've also, back in 2019, we were the first company in our industry who introduced the first day of period leave for our female employees.
Oh wow.
So that we gave to all our
and
female
that was
employees.
In the year?
2019.
Oh wow, so
was,
people are talking about it now.
It's
so you
now,
look,
So
that's amazing.
we look little ahead, and that is something that we always talk about. We work a lot on our employees' training, their development, their mental wellness. We keep on regular sessions about that. So it's not only about business here, it's about collective growth. Personal and professional balances is something that we take care of a lot.
Just moving ahead, I want to ask you, I'm a little inquisitive about Realty Assistant. Tell us about that, because that's newer, something you've got into. Tell us about that and our viewers as well.
So, when I was in my high school, I always used to travel with my father and my uncles for real estate buying. And back in time, it was a very unorganized sector.
Yeah.
So, although it was always very aspirational that, people make a lot of money in real estate investments, and even the brokers were making a lot of money. So as I always wanted to make it big, I thought, okay, can I diverge into this industry? But that's not only the one reason. I saw a lot of time my father and my uncles and even his friends got duped by real estate brokers and developers, because back in time people were very fraudulent in nature as far as real estate is concerned. So I thought, can we be a genuine, honest real estate advisory? So that is something that clicked me, and I thought, okay, let's do real estate business. And I started doing even in my high school days and my college days. So simultaneously I was doing this business, understanding, getting trained, working, making money, and that's why the flunking happened. But I don't think so. Today I'm a educated engineer. I'm an electronics and communication engineer. I'm an MBA. So I worked that out as well. But I think these were two reasons. One, it's a very high revenue generation business. We are the second largest employers in the country as industry is concerned. And also at the same time, I wanted to give a honest advisory solutions for real estate.
Ankit, like what really struck me, what you said about genuine, honesty, the advisory, because that's something everybody getting duped is one thing, but there's always that fear, the anxiety, is it the right thing? Am I investing? Because it's hard-earned money for everybody. But another thing which we've seen with the Realty Assistant is most trusted real estate brands. And also, retaining your customers. I was reading about that. That's also very interesting, because very often nowadays you have so many companies, so many, whether it's builders, in that space.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? What's the secret behind that?
So I think basically we did two things for ensuring that we have a high retention rate. Number one is, it's not only about giving honest advices, but it's also about getting the due diligence done of the products that you want to market. So first of all, we generated our own law firm. We opened our own law firm with due diligence of any and every product that we take out into the market. And secondly, even if our clients, investors have something stuck in real estate paradigm, even before us, we help solve them as well.
Yeah.
Secondly, we always wanted that, it's not only professional relationship with them. So we have an independent customer delight department at Realty Assistant that not only takes care of your investments, but also creates a personal bond with you. So we meet our customers on their birthdays, their anniversaries, we meet them on festivals. Last year we celebrated our Valentine's Day with them.
Okay.
So I personally visited 10 of our clients and I said that, this is the most special day. I'm not with my wife and with you. Please understand how important you are for us.
Yeah.
So such things, create a special bond between clients and us. And I think that has helped us retain. We have got more than 81% of retention rate.
What advice would you like to, because this is, one space a lot of people want to get into. So what advice would you like to give, people who look up to you, or startups who want to get into the business, and what are the things that they should be doing right?
Look, I believe it's a very interesting industry. So first of all, people should feel very proud of this industry. Secondly, please come prepared. Please train, please get the knowledge, gather the knowledge. Normally people do not come prepared into this industry. So even if you want to start your corporate job journey or you want to be an entrepreneur, please get wary of the knowledge, nuances and industry knowledge.
Yeah.
Before that, you should not enter into either service or business.
Clearly, you have so much knowledge about the real estate market, but this is a space which is evolving constantly. How do you keep up to that, or how should one be, understanding? Because that's obviously we see it's changing, right? Sometimes prices are up, down. Let me just ask you that how do you cope with it?
Look, I think I can say I always believe in hashtag learner for life. So we have to learn with every new adaptation that is coming to the industry.
Okay.
You have to be very with the new laws that are changing into our industry. These our governments for last 10 years have been very proactive in taking care of the interest of real estate buyers. Secondly, we have created a lot of data-based researches for us across markets and micro markets. Because if you're not data-driven, then I don't think so in today's world with so many data points, we can advise our clients the real way.
Okay.
So I think data search, data analysis, data studying is very important these days, and we have our own separate division for that.
Well, on that note, we're going to be taking a very short break. When we come back, this interesting conversation will still be on. Welcome back. You're watching NDTV Profit Next Brands presents Brand Vision Symbol of Excellence, and we have with us Mr. Ankit Aditya Pradhan, CMD of Viraj Ventures. Ankit, you did tell us about how Viraj Ventures was on the top 50 of the Fortune Best Workplaces, but when it comes to Realty Assistant, not far behind. Couple of things on your, you've got the Best Employer Brand 2024, Great Place to Work as well. How do you ensure that everything falls so well in place? Obviously it's affecting the productivity as well, but how do you make it a perfect place for your employees?
Yeah, so I think one of the philosophies that we have, or like one of the taglines we have, is we are more. So we always talk about with our clients as well as our employees that we are more for every aspect. So what happens is whenever we want to do something good for our employees, it cannot be only about business and incentives and monetization. We also try to give them a very inclusive workplace. We also try to give them their own self-growth. So we have programs where you can go for higher studies, and that is sponsored by us. We have the programs wherein we give you a full family-led trip, all on our expenses every year. So everybody is trying to, give it out to the organization. We want to give it back to them, and rather little more. I want, if you are investing with me, you should get some ROI as well. So recently we have also, distributed gifts and cars, luxury cars to our non-sales employees, to the employees who do not generate direct revenues. But I believe the sales support and the non-sales take more of the support system to the sales ecosystem. It's not only about sales.
So, since we're talking about property and something even I would want to know for, investors who want to increase their portfolio, what advice would you like to give them?
We have a lot of exposure from around the globe, and right now if anybody want to invest in, I think post-COVID, this is probably the golden period for them. Number one, it's not only real estate investments that is happening or development that is happening, it's also the infrastructure development. We have two major developments coming in, the Noida International Airport and the Navi Mumbai International Airport. Long pending. And finally we are there. We just saw the onset of Dwarka Expressway. So we just saw the onset of Ganga Expressway, Bundelkhand Expressway. Now we have the Delhi-Mussoorie Expressway, taking us in 2.5 hours to Dehradun. So these major milestones, these are gigantic structures, mega structures that brings us close to the cities to metros. That gives us employment, that gives us habitation, and that in turn gives us consumers. So I think real estate is something which is the investment right now. And most importantly, I say, I'm also into wealth management, but this is something where you have a tangible asset that does not go down. It does not vanish away. Unfortunately,
especially,
as others.
if I talk about homes, as Indians, I think everybody wants to have their dream home. I think that shift we've even seen post-COVID. Do you also believe in?
Exactly, I believe in that because unfortunately, a lot of studies earlier used to say that you should go for rental options and not real estate investment. But people need to understand there's a sinusoidal curve in real estate. So rentals are never going to go down. It also comes up. So you should have some investment of yours as your home, because I believe today millennials and Gen Zs, they spend a lot on their the fun part, the luxuries of the world, lifestyle. So I think it's important that during your first 5-6 years of journey of your employment, you should invest something. So you have something to fall back on. Why India survived COVID better than the West? Because we had a philosophy of savings. And this is the only asset class that gives you that gives you an equal opportunity as the inflation. So inflation is 7-8%, and your average real estate investment gives you 12 to 15%. So the only thing which can actually fight inflation for you.
The other thing I think which viewers want to know is about the challenges when we're talking about the real estate. What are the challenges?
So I believe
It could be personally for you or generally about the real estate industry.
I think the major challenge lies on both the aspects. For us as an entrepreneur and for the client. For the client, it is primarily the trust deficit that happened. But I think after the laws like RERA, so what SEBI did to the stock exchange, RERA helped us. So clients are now more comfortable investing. The trust deficit has gone. And on the entrepreneur side, I think still getting the right pedigree, the right human resource is a challenge for us. We want to train them, we want to guide them, but people are still not very comfortable coming into real estate. So I think that needs to change. This is one of the highest grossing industry and where you can make good money. So it's even better than wealth management.
Yeah.
So I think people today need to understand that yes, real estate is your career choice. It should come as a career choice to you. Coming into sales, coming to real estate. Probably if you want to come in sales, this is the highest transaction ticket that a person does in his own life.
You know, another thing I think, if you could share with us, if you would want to, what's up next for Realty Assistant Private Limited? I mean, what have you all thought? Anything new coming up? Anything unique?
Yeah, so basically, as Realty Assistant, we were primarily doing only primary sales as of now. But I believe the more unorganized sector is secondary sale. So today, every broker comes to you, advisor comes to you for buying a flat at and by a developer. But when you want to exit, you are on your own. But when you have to resell your property, you search out in the market by your own. So for closing that particular challenge of our clients, we are launching a secondary market division for ours. And also we are going to tier 2 and 3 cities where developers are developing good. The demand is very good, but they lack the tech. They lack the processes, they lack the SOPs, which can even increase their revenue. So we are launching an end-to-end services for our real estate developers, wherein from their project inception to their delivery of the product, everything will be taken care by Realty Assistant.
Okay.
Also, we have just about last year only, we started our own real estate development brand, that is Green Orbit Real Estate Development.
Okay.
So Go Red is the synonym that I say for it, that synonym, sorry. And it says red goes green. So we are coming up with real estate development goes green. Only sustainable developments, only gold and platinum rated buildings will be developed. And we are launching our projects in Noida, at Petronas West, Ranchi, Dehradun and Lucknow.
Little bit more if you can tell us on the project, because sustainability really is the key, and especially when we look at Viraj, you spoke about your son, or as parents, we always you want to give something better to our children, to the future generation, a better planet.
Correct.
So if you can tell us a little bit more about this.
So I'll just tell you about a product that we are coming up with Noida. So what we are trying to do that is that we are working with experts from around the globe that this will be a AQI 50 below property for you. So we will be installing outside air purifiers even in the landscape areas. So not only the indoor spaces but also the outdoor spaces will give you an AQI index of not more than 50. So this is something that we are investing in.
Okay.
We are creating a lot of rainwater harvesting systems for the building. We are creating a lot of non-carbon emitting solutions. We are doing a very nice HVAC, that is the air conditioning for the system. And we are reducing a lot of carbon footprints. So today it's not the case, but I think we should create or develop a building which is for 50 years ahead. So that is the timeline that we are planning in. So a lot of coming in. Still things are under wrap. We are in the conceptualized stages. So nothing more can be revealed. But the biggest factor in Delhi NCR is pollution. And we are committing to this that we'll be creating an AQI 50 below building in Delhi NCR within the next 5 years.
It's really good to hear that at least we're thinking about it. Even with 50 years, we're talking about it, because then the action can be taken. Since you said we're looking forward, what next in the next 5 to 10 years for Viraj Ventures?
I think now we are trying to go towards the rural India. We are trying to go towards the tier 4, tier 5 towns. And I think people after COVID want to see employment in their own cities, their own towns, their own villages. And we are also planning to venture into agro-tech. And I think these two industries are there that we are focusing on. And within the next 10 years, I would like to go to a lot of rural India for providing the same exposure and opportunities that we have here in the town.
I think the other thing which we would all want to know, as a first generation entrepreneur, the risk you took, the challenges, and in spite of all that, you are where you are today. A message you would like to give youngsters out there who want to start something of their own, which just may motivate them.
So I believe the Gen Zs that we have, like I'm a millennial, but the Gen Zs I have are much more smarter than us. I think that's a very big paradigm shift that they have seen. And they are very much about tech and they know much more about us and they're very well aware about it. And that's why we see a lot of new occupations coming out. So I think if they want to venture into real estate, it will be even better for them, because with the tech and innovations that these guys can come in, they can thought, they're more creative about it. I think it will be a game changer, because an industry like real estate, which is not that organized and also not that innovative as per se. So we still have a very minimal tech that we have, right? So I think these people can actually change the paradigm about it.
So tech and innovation, you really think is going ahead, that's the way forward?
Yeah, that's the way forward, correctly. That's the way forward. Because you can only scale up with tech. I cannot scale up offline. And earlier we can never think about that real estate can be bought without seeing the site. but we see a lot of that transactions happening today. And we have got metaverse now where we can show you the entire city at the comfort of your homes.
Yeah.
So I think these are the places where the Gen Zs can now choose real estate as an occupation.
Yeah. Ankit, you've spoken about how you wanted to be a perfect place for your employees to be. Also, then we spoke about, how do you want Viraj Ventures to turn out. Again, corporate social responsibility is something which I'm guessing, we would want to talk about, because if you're doing so much for within, what really are you doing outside? And how important do you think it is for corporates or industries or just people to be doing their bit for society?
Yeah, so basically I'll just tell you that even when we were not under the compliances of doing CSR, we were doing CSR. So from 2019 and 2020, we did launched a couple of our own NGOs. One is Pararthya, that is for sustainable development, in which we take care of the rural livelihood. So we have created a lot of cooperative groups at the rural levels, where we help them generate livelihood. And then after my father passed away, in his memory, I created another NGO, that is Aditya Pradhan Foundation, wherein we take care of two things only. One is for infants who are unfortunately abandoned by their parents somehow. So we take care of them and we provide them a lot of adaptability, the livability. And second is for old age people. So we are currently supporting a lot of old age homes. I think that is something that that's the harsh truth of our society today, that parents are left behind.
Yes.
But I think they are the foundation, they are the founding pillars of a society. So these are the two aspects that we are trying to take care of. And recently we have also taken care of all our blue collar employees' family responsibility of their education and medical. And that's in addition to the ESI and insurances that we give. So currently we are taking care of all their educational needs.
Clearly, when you said senior citizens, geriatric care is something unfortunately we are still talking about. Of course, infants, we look at them as our future, but it's a great thought that you're thinking of the senior citizens, because very often they not only just have a lonely life, but even access to health or basic things are, not taken care of. And even what you said, Ankit, about, think CSR before actually started happening. But I mean, one thing which is really struck is even having period leave way back then, rather than following these small initiatives really shows, the ethos of a person, a company. So hats off to you there. It's really been a pleasure to have you with us on NDTV.
Trying to add as much as we can.
Thank you so much.